VGK loses in South Florida on Saturday in overtime at the end of a disappointing road trip. Did this trip expose some weaknesses of this team? We'll talk about that and much, much more on this edition of Locked On Golden Knights.
You're Locked On Golden Knights, your daily podcast on the Vegas Golden Knights, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Well, hi again, everyone. Tony Cardasco and Chris Golick from Las Vegas, the start of a new week. Thanks for making us your first listen every day. You could find us wherever you get your podcast. Please make sure that you subscribe to our Locked On Golden Knights YouTube channel. We are brought to you today by FanDuel. There's a lot of action on FanDuel, a doubleheader in the NFL tonight, and the World Series. Check it out on FanDuel.com. The Golden Knights, Chris, had yet another collapse in Saturday's 4-3 overtime loss to Florida. They gave up the goal to Luosterainen, and that tied the game at 3 apiece. And then they gave up the goal with 16.2 seconds left in overtime. The game winner netted by Gustav Forsberg. 0-2-1 on this road trip, and just 1 point on this trip. Is that a cause for concern?
All right, so one of my tweets over the weekend, the glass 39% full approach, is the fact that the Golden Knights were just a couple minutes away from beating Tampa, who was probably the toughest team they faced on this entire road trip. And then obviously a second, third period collapse in Florida. So if the Golden Knights find a way to secure 2 points in Tampa, I think we have a completely different mindset coming into today's show. It's collapsed. Points are left on the table. Is there cause for concern? I think so. I mean, we're going to talk about our perspective on the team overall and the lack of secondary scoring once we get to our third segment. But in short, there's a lot of questions right now. And this road trip, a week ago, we're talking about cautious optimism heading into the first tough road trip of the season. And now here we are a week later questioning if the team's been exposed. What a difference a week makes, I guess.
Yeah, it is. It's like, one of those reports. It's day to day. It's like an injury report. The top
for now,
line,
day to day for now. That's
for now. It could be week to week. Yeah, soon. Top line did not score in that game against Florida for the first time in 6 games. Just 2 shots for Jack Eichel. And that line, every player on that line, Barbashev, Stone, and Eichel, a -1. And this is what could happen if teams just shut down that top line.
See, so this is weird. Florida Panthers came into this game with 17 skaters. They had someone get hurt in the game. I don't know if they came back or not, but I questioned Coach Cassidy's lines right after they got announced. I was in the radio and pulled over Park. Just wanted to get the tweet out there right away. Top line is intact. No changes there. Pearson, Hurdle, Dorofeev, whatever. Third line, Wah, Howden, Kolasar. Now, Cassidy was a genius in the sense that that line produced 3 goals. So good job, I guess. But this fourth line of Schwintz, Brisson, and Holtz was an absolute throwaway line. The second I saw that line, I'm like, hold on a second. Why is this Why is this happening? You're going against the Florida Panthers depleted roster without their studs. Why not balance those bottom 2 lines out and roll 4 lines? The second you saw a fourth line of Schwint, Brisson, and Holtz, you knew 9 minutes. 9 minutes. Maybe it was 8 minutes. Maybe it was 10. Whatever it was, their usage was very low, which was to be expected. That's not a fourth line. It's not even a third line, to be honest with you. But that is not an NHL fourth line. So as a result, the Panthers were able to basically outwork the Vegas Golden Knights in a game where they're down a skater. They outshot them by 44% was the ending margin that game.
They outshot the Panther. The Panthers did 49-26, 21-6 in the third period in overtime. Great job, defense. Great job. Ilya Samsonov.
Let's credit him.
Well, it's time to write another article about how great this team is in one of their top defensive pairs. Ilya Samsonov faced way too many shots. Yes, great job by him. Faced 49 shots, 49 shots, and saved 45. That's on the defense, bro.
Oh, no doubt. I mean, let's acknowledge reality for a second. Samsonov first goal was terrible. Another one of these weird angle goals. Logan Thompson on Saturday had the exact same thing happen to him, and we actually had a brief conversation about, pardon me, about these odd angle shots and what's going on and why they seem to go in so often. And one of the things that goaltenders are doing when that puck is in the corner, they're not expecting a shot. So there's two things happening. One, they're not square to the puck and in position. And the second thing is their head's on a swivel. They're looking around. They're looking to see if someone is right in front of them. They're watching the back door. They want to see if that puck is coming across. So when that puck makes it through, especially if there's a defenseman in there and the goalie doesn't get a clear view, those goals look like they're terrible goals when they go in. It's usually a mental lapse, but in the same breath, it's actually a very above a great creative shot to take. That's the word I was looking to use right there.
Creative, yeah.
That first goal, fine, whatever, but after that, there's nothing he's doing on any of those shots at all. Nothing he's doing. And Samsonov has been a bright spot. Only 2 starts, small sample size, but at the eye test, give me more Samsonov, give me less Hill until Hill gets his stuff worked out right now.
Okay, so the final goal, the Forsling goal in overtime, was that Pietrangelo who left him wide open? Pretty much.
I think he got, it was either him or Hurdle got caught out there for a long shift, and
yeah,
you know,
I think it was why Pietrangelo on the 3-on-3 when you're skating really fast. That's my only question.
But I mean, yeah, I mean, can you go Hannafin and Theodore the entire time? I mean, I don't know. I'm with you. I'm not disagreeing with that, but I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'd probably rather see White Cloud out there, who's actually looking at White Cloud stats. Him and McNabb are actually doing decent. We were down on White Cloud early in the season, but White Cloud's a +3. McNabb is a +5. That's your best defensive pairing right now.
That's crazy. Well, McNabb is just very steady. And to me, it was first of all, Theodore couldn't stop the puck. And then off the pass, we saw where Forsberg was just wide open. And I think it was Pietrangelo again. And I'm not capping on him. He was just a step late. I think it was a step late.
To be fair, Pietrangelo, I'm sorry, Tony.
No, the defense just isn't up to par. We can talk all we want to about the best Pacific. Right now, you want to throw them in the Pacific.
No, 100%. I mean, Coach Cassidy issued a measurable in training camp. I don't know if it was I think it was the first day actually when he was talking about it. Coach Cassidy stated he wants the Golden Knights to have the best. I'm watching the goal right now. Hurdle. Pietrangelo was not on the ice for the overtime game winners, but it was Hurdle who was.
That was Hurdle. Okay,
it was Hurdle. Hurdle was not even moving his feet.
Over my car. I just watched it. Yeah. Okay. In any
I was watching it passively. I forgot where I was going with.
So that was Hurdle.
Yeah, and I forgot what I was saying before that, though. I don't know. Couldn't have been that important, I guess.
No, it was probably, you said that Cassidy.
They're talking about the defense and I thought about throwing him in the Pacific, and I remember what you said. I mean, Cassidy issued a measurable. He wanted the defense to be the best defense in the Pacific. Okay, well, you got 2 pairings who are playing like crap. Let's just acknowledge this. Shea Theodore is doing great on the offensive side. Give him all the credit in the world for that. The pairing of McNabb and Theodore, or McNabb and White Cloud, is actually starting to take care of home, so to speak. So is it time to maybe make some changes in the top 2 defensive pairs?
Wow. Yeah. And the goals, again, came from Kolasar, Howden, and Pearson. I am red hot, bro. I had Pearson to score. I had 4-2 Florida, rather. And it was a 4-3 final. Yeah.
But people say you don't know anything about this.
I don't know anything about this team. I don't know anything.
Yeah, I mean, one thing, back to the shot disparity. On paper, I don't like the Golden Knights almost getting outshot 2-1, but the Golden Knights are a team that probably is going to get outshot most nights. The reason I say this is they're a transition team. They are not a team that gets a lot of offensive zone time. They're not a cycle team. There's really one line that's getting all of the offensive opportunities right now. And then you have 3 other lines trying not to get scored on until obviously things get worked out. Point being is when you're a transition team, you go down, you get your one shot, might not even register a shot on goal, and then the other team goes back to work and gets that zone time. So that's just kind of part of what the system is of the Vegas Golden Knights, a very opportunistic offense. Unfortunately, they lacked opportunities in a game where they should have probably had 35 shots on goal against a fatigued Panthers team. Bobrovsky didn't look that good at all in that game. Bobrovsky,
No.
I thought, was slow to react a lot. I mean, he got the win, good on him, obviously, but he definitely didn't win the game, if you will. He didn't steal the game, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, a lot of money, I guess, went on VGK late in that.
I was all over
game.
VGK. I haven't made a bet probably in 3 weeks, and that was enough for me to drop
To
$100 of my hard-earned money.
And now you're retiring from gambling. Yeah, you should have asked me, bro.
No, I'm not that type at all to retire from gambling after one bet.
We appreciate everyone tuning in. Stay with us. Coming up next, things went south when VGK went south and east. Well, Washington, D.C. is probably south to Bruce Cassidy for their very first road trip. We'll talk about whether or not you were surprised, folks, that this team struggled. We'll get to that. We weren't. We return right here on Locked On Golden Knights. We are driven by the search for better, but when it comes to hiring, the best way to search for a candidate isn't to search at all. Don't search, match with Indeed. That's right. If you need to hire, you need Indeed. Indeed is your matching and hiring platform with over 350 million global monthly visitors, according to Indeed data, and a matching engine that helps you to find some candidates, a lot of candidates, fast. That's right. Ditch the busy work. Use Indeed for scheduling, for screening, and messaging so you can connect with candidates faster. And Indeed doesn't just help you hire faster. 93% of employers agree that Indeed delivers the highest quality matches compared to other job sites, according to a recent Indeed survey. Join more than 3.5 million businesses worldwide that use Indeed to hire great talent and fast. And listeners of this show, Locked On Golden Knights, will get a $75 sponsor job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/lockedon. Just go to Indeed.com/lockedon right now. Support our show by saying that you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Indeed.com/lockedon. Terms and conditions apply. If you need to hire, you need Indeed. Welcome back on this edition of Locked On Golden Knights. Tony Cardasco and Chris Golick from Las Vegas. Thanks for making us your first listen every day. You can find us wherever you get your podcast. Please make sure to check us out on Fridays for WTF. Saturdays, it's the Chris Jr. show. So, I did a lot of basketball this weekend. That was a lot of fun at Coronado High School. Did you see? I posted a photo. Only in Las Vegas, it is so bougie that they set up a lounge for coaches on one of the sides of the court. So behind me is just packed with fans. And then looking across, there's couches. I said all that was missing, Chris, were sparklers and bottle service for these coaches. So every major college coach in the nation, only in Vegas though, right?
So they're all scouting the high school kids.
High school, these kids
Fair enough.
are all one and doneers, man. If
Okay.
they could just go straight to the league right now, they would. There's
Fair
some
enough.
talent.
Okay.
Yeah. It's pretty cool though, and good, really good turnout and a lot of fun there. So thanks again to everyone at the Border League, sponsored by the U.S. Marine Corps. I got that in there a bunch of times. Okay, were we really surprised? I'm trying to do everything to avoid this topic. This is your topic. Were we really surprised at the Golden Knights' poor performance on the road trip at 0-2-1? Is this just a road issue, or are we starting to see a trend? Are we starting to see this VGK team start to falter a little bit? Is this the way that we will see them continue to play at home?
The season isn't even 10% old yet, so we don't know this team necessarily. Obviously, Olofsson going down was a blow, and then, of course, I haven't seen William Karlsson yet, and I got the feeling, unless Karlsson's on the ice skating this morning, it's no less than a week until he'll possibly be back, if not longer than that. So that's a concern right there. I mean, let's go back to the first 3 games that the team won, right? Georgiev, they beat a goaltender who couldn't stop a beach ball going into a basketball hoop while holding a tennis racket. Let's be realistic there. Now we talk about the St. Louis Blues, 3 games in 4 nights, including a back-to-back. Golden Knights squeak by there. Anaheim Ducks, not a team that's looking to do great things, although they got an awesome introduction with the go on my Twitter. I think I reposted it over the weekend. Their intro is just phenomenal with the Ducks flying in the arena and everything.
That's cool. I saw that.
It was really cool. It was really, really cool. I love that.
Yeah.
But again, the Golden Knights beat not a great Ducks team, who, by the way, was on the tail of the back-to-back. Now the Golden Knights travel. You get Logan Thompson and the Capitals. Capitals aren't looked to do much more. Capitals are looked to do kind of what the Vegas Golden Knights are. See if they can make it into the wild card and see what happens later in the year. Golden Knights lose that game, kind of a close game. I mean, Golden Knights played okay that game, but obviously didn't come away with the victory. Tampa Bay, we talked about, coughed up those 2 goals late, and then obviously the Florida Panthers situation. So there's concern right now. I'm not going to sit here and say, we thought this team was going to be terrible, and now we're right. That's not at all what the point of this topic is, but we did have concerns about this team. Tony, you nailed the fact that this team has counted on these hot starts for the last 2 seasons under Coach Cassidy, and all of a sudden now it goes from 3-0 to 3-2-1, and the 2-1 part didn't look very good as far as those games go. So a lot of concerns and player issues. I mean, I got a whole half sheet of paper here of things to talk about right now.
Okay, well, we're going to get to that, if not today, this upcoming week here and in the future. And here's something, too, about VGK. So they don't skate well in those losses on the road. These are games that they pulled out and won. They found a way to win those games, right? Even if they're not playing very well.
Which is great.
Yeah, they lost a lot of games. What I'm getting at, that they typically win. They typically win because they blew the game in Tampa and they relinquished the lead in Florida. When you look at what happened there, those are games that typically this team does traditionally. Is there such a thing as a tradition here already with 8 years, 8 seasons? Traditionally, they win these games. They pull them out, find a way.
Leadership, coaching, goaltending, all that certainly plays in right now. And, you can argue that all those things are a little bit off right now. Just kind of going down some items I have here. Tomas Hertl, 5-on-5 puck possession monster, going to be really good, going to help this team 5-on-5. Okay, fine. Hertl has 3 points. How many of those points came on the power play?
How many shots are there on the power play? How many shots?
All three of his points are power play.
How many shots has he taken? Did he take just one again yesterday? How many times?
Tomas Hertl on the entire season has registered just 8 shots.
8 shots. Okay, 8 shots from a guy that's supposed to be a scorer in now 6 games.
Yeah, no, I don't know how that ranks as far as his historical average, his tradition goes, Tony. But Hertl is irrelevant right now. Let's just be honest here. Hertl is irrelevant right now. Everyone was pounding.
We called it.
Hertl we were concerned about, and really fast here we'll compare, and then I got some about Cassidy here, but Holtz, Hannafin, Hertl, Pearson, Schwint, those are the new hires coming into this season, right? They found them on Indeed. Those are the new hires off the street, and they got traded from. You like that? You got 8 points, and collectively you got a -8 right there. Okay, fine. Well, Stevenson, 4 points. Amadio Bagel. Marchessault, 4 points. Paul Cotter, 7 points. Will carry a 1. Alec Martinez, 1. So 17 points left the building. Golden Knights replace that with 8 points right now. That's certainly something to be concerned about. Back to Tomas Hertl. Hertl was healthy. Everything we heard was great about Hertl, his health, his speed. I mean, Gary Lawless, I'm sure you can go on any article and see all the wonderful, amazing things that Gary Lawless had to say about him. Well, okay, fine. I'm not seeing it on the ice right now. I'm not seeing it on the ice. And at 1 point, is this on Bruce Cassidy to find a way to ignite this chemistry, the narrative, which I'm actually starting to buy into, as crazy as that sounds. At what point does Cassidy have to find a way? Should the Golden Knights break up that top line? There is a topic right there in itself.
Okay. No, it's a very good topic indeed. Indeed. I got Indeed in again. And to me, though, uh, so Hurdle comes off of a big surgery last season with the injury, and then of course comes back again. He limps into the playoffs. All that. Is he ready to
Literally
play?
limped into the playoffs.
No, is he ready to? Okay, is he ready now, Chris, to play this many minutes this season?
So to be fair, I think the Golden Knights didn't think he was ready to play this many minutes because Hurdle was slated to be the third line center, William Karlsson the second line center.
Good point.
So I think they wanted to, put Hurdle in a spot where it was more about kind of grinding defensive hockey, and then obviously, having that reliable two-way center back there. Carlson can maybe focus a little more on his offensive. We're talking a 30-30 player that the Golden Knights are missing right now. That's obviously a big blow, and of course on the defensive side too. So you wonder when and if and when Carlson gets back into this lineup. And all of a sudden, no update yet. I'm assuming that's coming soon, but I'm guessing we're week to week for now, which is going to be 2.5 months probably for all of
Yeah,
them.
they sent him home from the road trip.
They did send him home. That's confirmed. And then now, I mean, just to get even deeper here, we're talking about the depth. The Golden Knights week 1, if it wasn't for that first line getting 19 points in 3 games or 17 points, whatever it was, they might have faltered in one of those games too. So now let's look at depth scoring. We'll talk about that a little more in the third segment. But even going deeper, Henderson was okay on Friday night against the Cal 1-2-3 Gary Wranglers. Fourth, they were down 3-0 and actually made it a 4-3 game. It got pretty close there. But then the second night they lost 4-0. Lavoie, obviously, someone people are keeping an eye on down there. I haven't seen much out of him yet. So what do the Golden Knights have as more injuries are going to start to pile up down in Henderson? Right now, Brisson is the 18th skater. He's out there. So you got Ronbjerg, Lavoie, just some players throwing out there right now. And it's, tougher days, I think, are ahead. This is just scratching the surface right now.
Lazinski, yeah.
Lazinski, yeah, but he's, know.
Okay, real quick before we go to the break. Were those horns that they gave out, the Vuvuzela, the junior Vuvuzelas, was that annoying or was that fun?
So honestly, folks, if you watch this show, anytime
wait, did I see you on HSK's? I think I saw you.
You did, yeah. That's another media. That's another. I think I've cost 2 cameramen and a media person their job already. Once they realize it's me, they're going to pull that down real quickly. But listen, I've been very critical of the Silver Knights, and from their pregame intro to the noise in the arena to the fact that no one goes to the games. Well, okay, let's pump the brakes. Let's be fair for a second. Pre-game intro, pretty cool. They brought a big horseshoe thing out for the players to skate through. The intro wasn't as much about the town crier flapping his jaw. There was a little more video stuff and all of that.
Thank goodness.
Improvements. You asked about the horns and everything. I thought the horns were great. Yeah, I had a headache, but I, honest to goodness, thought the horns were great. Kids were into the game. Adults were having fun with them. People were engaged. The crowd was making noise from beginning to end. You don't get that at Silver Knights games. You don't. All the season ticket members, email your season ticket rep today. Get these horns banned. They are distracting the players out there. Like, shut up. I'm sorry.
They said they were distracting the. Okay.
Yes.
Here's a big question. Are you going to be allowed to bring those back into the building now?
I hope so. They should.
They should,
they definitely
right?
should. So. It's
fun. It looked like fun. It was a great promotion.
Listen, these are all the same fans, Tony, that just complained and moaned and have the volume of that PA system in there for the last, 2 seasons or however long it's been now. Those horns are nothing compared to that PA system. Sure, if there's a kid over your shoulder doing it, it's annoying, fine, but it's AHL hockey. This was a great environment, and I was very encouraged for what's coming for the Silver Knights, hopefully, this year.
That's really cool. Coming up next, VGK's lack of depth scoring. Is it hurting them? Hurting the team already? Yes. We'll talk about it when we return right here on this edition of Locked On Golden Knights. FanDuel Sportsbook is the official sports betting partner of Locked On Golden Knights. So when you get a hunch in the middle of the game, you can check out the latest stats, view live play-by-play, and so much more on the same page where you place your bets. And there's a lot of action coming. Of course, we've got, I don't understand still why they're playing 2 Monday Night Football games. We've got the Chargers, a 1.5-point favorite there in Arizona tonight as they take on the Cardinals on the road. And we also have, what is the other game? Baltimore at Tampa. And the total's 50. And we've got the Ravens favored as 3.5-point road favorites. And don't forget, we've got the big World Series coming up. And the Dodgers are minus 130 favorite over my New York Yankees. They're pitching. It's all hype, bro. I'm just telling you right now, it's not that good. You'll get started with $200 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place your first $5 bet. That's FanDuel.com. Start the season off with a big return, and you should do it right now at America's #1 sportsbook, FanDuel. Back on this edition of Locked On Golden Knights, Tony Cardasco and Chris Golick. Thanks for making us your first listen each and every day. Find us wherever you get your podcast. And please make sure to subscribe to our Locked On Golden Knights YouTube channel. And my guy Chris is in midseason form today with a lot of good numbers and stats. Wow. You pulled over to the side of the road to do a lot of research, bro. That's good.
I was actually driving. I'm starting a silver collection, and I pulled up at the gold shop that I bought some silver from, and I was tweeting it right away.
Collection. Okay, this is new. So what is this all about?
I mean, not to totally sidetrack ourselves, but the perspective I got, you're scrolling through Instagram, all this, scroll, you watch something, scroll, whatever. And a clip actually from Pawn Stars popped up. The old man was talking, and someone brought in, these sacks and sacks of silver to sell, probably 6 figures worth. And Rick, the kid, made the comments that, old man loves silver. Old man comes out and says silver is a hedge against inflation.
Okay.
I thought that was a great perspective, and I know a lot of people that buy and sell silver, and so I decided I'm going to start a silver collection. That's it.
Okay, Silver Knights, collecting silver. This is a
new year, new me, bro.
Yeah. So
new October, new me.
As we said before, VGK will struggle with this team due to lack of depth scoring, and we are seeing that in full effect right now, correct? It's evident even through the first 6 games of the season.
Yeah, I mean, listen here, Eichel 10 points, awesome start. Stone 9 points, Barbashev 8 points, great. Shea Theodore, who I was really high on as far as coming in, just with a chip on his shoulder, something to prove. Maybe it's not a chip on his shoulder as much as it is he wants to pad his bank account in the next few months or something like that. So Shea Theodore has had a wonderful start to the year. So you got 10, 9, 8, and 7. And then after that, you got a bunch of 3 balls coming up. Hurdle, Nick Waugh, Brett Howden, who's actually looked pretty good this season. Keegan Colasar, who's also looked pretty good this season. Olofsson has 3 points. Of course, we're not going to see him for a while. Pearson, good pickup, and then Pietrangelo. Those are all the players that have 3 points, and then a lot of 2s and 1s. And looking out the bottom of this list, Nick Hague, no points. I don't care about that. But Alex Holtz, no points. That's a concern. Noah Hannafin, 1 point and a -3. Folks, 60 points for Noah Hannafin. He's gonna be an outside Norris candidate. Folks, pump the brakes. Pump the brakes. We talked about that too.
It's a trading pin. Jenks. Who else they had? Hurdle. Who else do they have there? It's a Jenks, bro.
Hill got a pin.
Who
are the pins?
Carlson. Carlson got a pin.
Seriously?
On DL. Yes. I'm not kidding you.
So were the pins really Carlson,
Hannafin,
Hannafin,
Hurdle? Did Stone get one? Oh, did you see Cassidy's tan? Holy smokes. He went to the beach. Did you see it post game?
I didn't see it. No, but he spent too much time there. Apparently, it fried his brain when he mixed up the lines. I guess, unfortunately.
Yeah, maybe that's what happened.
Yeah, I mean, just back to the secondary scoring here, and that's why I wanted to highlight. I wasn't looking to point out the fact that the Golden Knights and the free agent crap and all that. That wasn't the point to reignite that conversation. But right now, the players that have left, 17 points collectively. Now, Paul Cotter, a bit of an outlier with 7 points. But again, Paul Cotter's having a great year, and credit whether he figured something out, whether the system is better for him, whether they're letting him be more creative, whatever it is, full credit to Paul Cotter for getting it together. And, will Cotter finish with 40 points or 18 points? Both are equally in play at this point, I think, knowing him. But again, 17 points right now has left the Golden Knights as far as the new situations go. And I'd argue those points would be a little bit better if the Golden Knights still had those players. And that's only been replaced by 8 points right now. So, back to the topic here, secondary scoring. There's concerns. There needs to be someone else who can pick it up. And now, again, let's go both ways here. Pearson, Howden, Kolesar were the goal scorers against the Panthers. Good game of secondary scoring. The flip side is it led to the Golden Knights being a 3-line team against a depleted Florida Panthers team who only had 17 skaters. If the Golden Knights flatten out the bottom 6, does something change? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. But again, secondary scoring is a concern, as is goaltending, as are the top 2 defensive pairs, as is Tomas Hertl, who's been absolutely irrelevant. I think that's all I got.
8 shots on goal, 1 goal, and 2 assists. And as you mentioned, all in the power play. So the players that were featured on those pins.
Oh, you found them.
I had to go digging. Sorry, man.
We got a tweet in the making, Tony. You can have it. You can have the tweet after the show.
So Noah Hannafin, William Karlsson,
0 points.
Tomas Hertl, 3 points.
3 power play points.
And Aiden Hill, who's struggling out of the gate.
The pin jinx is real.
It's real. It's real, bro. It's real.
You got to do that tweet, Tony. You'll love it. It'll be great for online.
I'm going to get ripped anyway. I might as well. Lake Tony.
But all joking aside, the reality is if you're on a pin, you're going to have
isn't that crazy?
Not a good start. I almost said a really bad word there.
They should go back. Yeah, they should go back to the busts. That's
hey, they won a Stanley Cup the year they had the bust, so don't knock it.
Right, and it's Stanley Cup or bust this season for VGK. And
no, it's not.
Oh, I found a stat here. How about this? Barbashov's scoring percentage right now is an unheard of 40%. Isn't that insane?
40%. So he's taken 10 shots and he's got 4 goals. That's awesome.
Isn't that great?
Let's see. 25% for Nicholas Waugh, 27%. Olofsson at 27%. Not sustainable, but still a great number.
Yeah,
I mean, still a great number.
That's insane. That's a great number, man.
Noah Hannafin is 0% this year. Norris candidate, 0%.
He is a Norris candidate. Yeah, and he got his own pin. We appreciate it.
So here we talked about giveaways. We were talking about this before the show even started. I mean,
okay, giveaways. We're talking about pin giveaways, and now you're talking about turnovers.
Yeah, giveaway. I'm going to play some Red Hot Chili Peppers here in a second.
Just yet. The extended
Alex Pietrangelo, 10 giveaways or 14 giveaways.
14.
Shea Theodore, 10 giveaways. That's 24 giveaways on your top defensive pair, folks.
Yeah, things are looking bright for that pairing. Really looking good. It's going to take some time for them to gel. It will take some time. I think they'll be okay eventually. And here's the thing about
after 3 games, Tony, the conversation changes. Then after 6 games, these are professional hockey players. How many games do they friggin' need? Seriously, how many games do they need? They had a camp.
Let's talk after the homestand. That's when everyone gets better here, I'm sure. Okay,
fine. Yeah, whoop-de-friggin' do. The Kings who are depleted, the Senators who are terrible, the Sharks who are irrelevant, and then the Calgary Flames, the Pacific leading division Calgary Flames, for crying out loud. Like, this is Charmin soft. If they don't get 6 points, then it's a terrible homestand.
6 points. Okay, that's good.
They should get 8. They should get 8.
To the first game, and that's tomorrow night. We'll have a preview tomorrow. We better get out of here.
Golden Knights got a back-to-back this week, Tony, at home. Watch it.
Who does?
Golden Knights back-to-back at home, Friday, Saturday.
That's really tough. Yeah,
they get an AHL team on Saturday and the Sharks, though, so it really doesn't count.
Yeah, that's really a back-to-back. Come on, man. This is ridiculous.
Only if they play Askarov, who's got 2 shutouts in his first 2 AHL games with the Barracuda.
I saw that. We appreciate everyone tuning in, especially our everydayers. Thank you so much. Fridays are WTF. Saturdays,
the week. It's a good show. It's a good show.
Chris Jr. show. Of course, don't forget, tune in tomorrow. We'll have a preview of tomorrow night's game against the Kings. For everyone tuning in around the globe, for my man, Chris Golick, I am Tony Cardasco saying so long for now. We'll see you tomorrow right here on Lockdown Golden Knights. And please take care.